So today we have another tag. It is another author tag. This one is by A Little Bookish, A Little Writerly, and it is the Confessions of a Writer tag. I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible, especially answers that I've already answered in previous writer tags. So hopefully there won't be too much repetition for y'all who've been following me for a while. Question 1. When did you first start writing, and was being a writer something you always wanted to be? I first started writing as soon as I could write, and yes. Number 2, what genre do you write? Primarily YA, fantasy, alternate universe, and some contemporary. Number 3, can you tell us a little bit about your current work in progress? When did you start working on the project? I guess I kind of have 2 works in progress at the moment. Diary of a Demon, which is going slowly through the beta process, which I wrote it probably 4 years ago. And then it and I had a little bit of a breakup, and then I came back to it, and now I am editing it again. I think it's a good book, and I think people would like it, but getting people to read it is going to be the challenge. But my betas are enjoying it. They're making their way through, so that's good. I just started my next project, which is a Puss in Boots retelling called Boots. I've always wanted to do a fairy tale retelling, and I've had this one in my head for a while, so this is going to be fun and interesting, I think. Number 4 is, what was your first piece that you can remember writing, and what was it about? The first piece that I remember writing was when I was first learned to write, and I also draw, so I wrote and illustrated my very own little book. It had a cover and everything, and it was about a pencil who came to life and wrote his own story. It was very meta. But yes, that was the first little book I remember writing. Number 5, what is the best part about writing? The best part for me is that it is a way that I can explore all of these emotions and human details that I don't get to explore maybe in my real life. Plus, it's a great release for me if I'm having a bad day or strong emotions. I can sit down and I can write, and it feels really great. It's just a really great thing for me that I've always loved doing. Number 6, what's the worst part about writing? Editing. I hate editing. I hate it so much. I understand that I need to do it, but I hate it. And getting people to read your work, because it is very frustrating, and you will discover that no one cares about your work as much as you do, and it is confusing and sometimes very painful to realize how little other people will care about this thing that you have poured your soul into for so long, usually for a very long time. And so that is, I think, the suckiest part, is getting people to read it, because even your close friends, and sometimes even your family, do not understand how important this is to you and do not prioritize this thing, which is the world to you. It's just another book to them, which they may or may not find time to read. What is the name of your favorite character and why? This can be a book by another author or from your own work. Book crushes are perfectly acceptable as well. I don't really have very many book crushes. You all probably know my favorite character right now is Becca Cooper from Tamara Pierce's Becca Cooper series, but my favorite character that I have written would actually be from a fan fiction. I know. Her name is Aslier Adar, and she is the main character in The New Ways of Old Gods, my Dragon Age fanfiction. And if you haven't checked it out and you think it might interest you, please do. Aslier is an astounding character. I loved writing her. She is a bit more of an extrovert than me. She loves people, for better or worse. She is a military leader. She's in command, in charge, but she also, obviously has feelings. I'm not doing a very good job of describing her, but I love Aslier, and she is my soul. She is who I am on the inside. So if you want to know more about me and who I really am, read The New Ways of Old Gods. Number 8, how much time per day/week do you write, and when is the best time for you to write? I don't clock myself, and I don't track myself at all. I write whenever I have time. I usually write every day. Sometimes there'll be gaps where I don't write for a couple of days, but I try really hard not to allow myself to worry about that, because I know I have a history of finishing books. So I know that I can do it, and so I don't stress and I don't worry, and I just write when I write. And the best time for me to write is in the morning. I know, I'm weird. Most writers that I know write at night and late into the night, but for me, the best time to write is when I wake up in the morning, I make myself a cup of tea, and I sit down to write, usually before work. Number 9, did you go to college for writing, or if you haven't been to college yet, do you plan to? I am super old, but I did not go to college for writing or otherwise. I did take a couple of writing classes at my local college, but none of the colleges near me have a creative writing major, and for better or worse, I decided that I would rather try to go it on my own than have a lot of debt for what I felt like is not an equal amount of payoff. You can argue about how wrong I am in the comments section. Have fun. Number 10, what bothers you more? Spelling errors, punctuation errors, or grammatical errors? Depends on how judgy I'm being. If I'm reading someone's original work, I am really forgiving of all of those errors. I know some people cannot handle it. Like, I've had people in my family who have started to read my book, one of my books, and found a spelling error and just stopped and been unable to keep reading my book because of a spelling error. Frustrating. So I try to be very forgiving of that in works that I know have not been professionally edited or fan fiction. But if it is a professionally edited, professionally published book, grammatical errors bother me the most. Number 11, what is the best writing advice that anyone has given you? I'm really not sure. I've gotten a lot of good advice, and I like watching other people's channels where they talk about their writing advice, and I like hearing how it's different for everyone. I don't really know what's the best writing advice I've ever gotten. If you want to know the worst writing advice I've ever gotten, though, there is a vlog for that, links in the doobly-doo, the worst writing advice that I have ever taken. Number 12, what advice would you give another writer? My advice in general, many of you know because you've heard it before, don't let other people tell you how to write too much. Because everyone will tell you that their way of writing is the correct way and the only way. Because it is so much a part of them that it feels to them like that is the correct way and the only way. And sometimes I even catch myself going, well, my way is the best way to do it. But it's only the best way for me. So if you find a way to write that is different from what people say you're supposed to do, is different from how you've been told, but it's working for you, you're getting words on the page, you're getting writing done, then don't listen to those other people. You do you. You write the way that works for you. 13, what are your favorite writing sites or blogs that you turn to for help, tips, or encouragement? I mostly stay here on YouTube. I haven't really found, I'm a little bit on Goodreads, but I have not really found like a group or a place to go for tips and encouragement and such. I do, like I said, I watch some YouTubers here who put out tips videos, which I enjoy watching, but I don't really have a specific place that I go. Number 14, besides writing, what else do you enjoy doing? What are your hobbies? Obviously gaming, obviously reading. I enjoy horseback riding, I enjoy acting, I enjoy LARPing, live action role playing. I'm a member of a LARP called Amped Guard, which is actually a bit more of a boffer sport than a traditional LARP. We do dress up in the clothes, but we don't have like these necessarily huge elaborate storyline things that we do. A lot of it is much more about the competition and the fighting. With boffer swords. Number 15, what is the best book that you've read this year? Hasn't been very long into the year yet, so to be decided. I don't feel like I've found the best book that I've read this year yet. Number 16, what is the best movie you have seen this year? So far, I guess my favorite is Zootopia, but again, it's too early in the year to pick a favorite. Number 17, what is your favorite book series of all time? You know what I'm going to answer. It's going to be any of the Tortall books, but especially the Becca Cooper series by Tamara Pierce, and I also have a soft spot in my heart for the Brian Jakes Redwall series. Those are my favorites right now. Who knows what it'll be in a year's time or 2 years' time, but that's right now. Number 18, who is your favorite author? As of right now, Tamara Pierce. Number 19, what are your plans for the rest of the year in terms of your writing? Well, I'm hoping to have my betas, at least my first I've got like 3 beta readers that stuck with me out of so many. That's a problem they don't tell you about. We'll talk about that some other video. But I'm hoping that they will make it through, and then I can start editing and hopefully finish editing by the end of the year again, Diary of a Demon, and then I will hopefully be submitting it to a professional editor. This will be the first book that I have ever had professionally edited, because that costs money. And I don't know how you know this about me, but I'm kind of poor. Yeah. My other goal, obviously, is to get as much written in my new story, Boots, as I can. We'll see how much I get done. I don't really set, like, hard goals. It works for me. Again, write the way that works for you. And number 20, where else can we find you online? You can find my writing at my DeviantArt, which I will link you below. There'll be links below to everything. I also have a Tumblr, obviously here on YouTube. Duh. An AO3 for my fan fiction, so if you're interested in seeing my writing and you want to see, like, I have a lot of different fan fiction up there, so go check it out. You want to find out about Aslear, you know you do. She's awesome. If you want to keep up, though, the best with me, and when I post new videos, when I give updates about my writing, and when I feel like sharing anything writerly or bookish, my Facebook page, my author page on Facebook, is really the best way to do it. It's the place that I keep updated the most to the minute updates. So please, if you are at all interested in keeping up with me and what I do, Facebook. For now. I'm thinking about maybe getting a Twitter. I don't like Twitter, but I'll do it because that's where a lot of people are. But yes, that's where I am. I'm all over the internet, but especially on Facebook. If you want to keep up with everything that I'm doing writing-wise, from my fan fictions to my original works to my podfics to the videos that I post here, it's all there on that Facebook page. Links in the doobly-doo. So that was the Confessions of a Writer tag. I hope you liked it. I definitely hope that you will try it yourself. I tag all of y'all who are also writers out there, whether you're a super serious one or you're a little bit more casually into writing. That's cool. It's cool. And remember, if you genuinely enjoy watching my videos, if they really give you joy, then I would be most thankful if you would share them with your friends. If you ever feel like you need some encouragement, give me a shout, because I will always try to bolster up my fellow writers and encourage you guys, because we're all awesome and we need to help each other out. And I will see all of you on my next video. Bye!